Carlos Ramirez, owner of NVS Audio in Roselle, New Jersey. So today, it's something I wanted to do last week, but we just got so jammed up. We've been so busy and the weather's been terrible out here. So between the Boss Audio contest, this got pushed back. So it's not fair and it doesn't give us enough time, but I'm going to try it anyway. Alex Haze is having a webinar, and it's a tuning webinar. It walks you through the fundamentals of setting up a bike, DSP tuning. So I like you understand that here at the shop, every single bike we touch gets a DSP. I feel that DSP and tuning is super important to get these bikes to sound the way they're supposed to sound. You're able to use less power and get more sound and more control with the DSP. So there's a lot of techs and installers that are scared or don't believe in the DSP, so they shy away from it. And they're really doing a disjustice to their clients. These bikes aren't sounding the best that they possibly can. We use a DSP even on a 2-speaker bike. That way we can squeeze all the sound possible out of these 2 speakers without blowing them up. So I totally support what Alex is doing. So for Alex's Haze's webinar, I got together with Mr. Wonderful, and we each bought a spot to donate. So we're going to raffle off 2 spots for Alex's seminar. You got to get your votes in tonight because the webinar is tomorrow at 8 p.m. So I'll let it run, I guess, till 6 p.m. tomorrow. Maybe a little earlier, maybe 4 p.m. tomorrow, to give you time so we can announce the winners and give you guys the code so you can enter the webinar. So we're raffling away 2 free seats to the webinar. I believe the webinar is either $100 or $150. So me and Wonderful are taking care of the cost. So we're just trying to get as much education to as many people possible, trying to get as many people involved. So we're going to be doing this a few times throughout the year. I think Alex does his tuning sections every couple of months, and it's worth it. Everyone is a little bit different. So don't expect to get any wow information. It's just good, solid, basic information on how to properly tune a bike, and Alex is showing you his style. That's the great thing about tuning. So we deal with a lot of really good builders across the United States. I have relationships with Dorian and Joey Hensley and Ricky Wills, and we all do a really good job, but all our bikes sound completely different. It's like cooking. So you can cook the same dish, but it'll taste completely different because you have a different style. It's not right or wrong, it's different. But one thing we all have in common is fundamentals. Proper wiring, oxygen-free copper wiring, proper signal path, proper battery support, so proper impedance load, and proper tuning. We all run DSPs. We all feel it's important. So throughout the year, I want to reach out to all these guys and possibly do a training or a webinar or a video. So this year, we're starting with Alex Haze. Alex Haze is known for building competition-winning bikes. When Alex Haze enters, you know he's there. He does really well, and we have a lot of mutual clients, and when somebody calls for help, the first thing I ask for a screenshot of the tune, because just from a screenshot, I can tell whether the person that's tuning has a basic idea of what they're doing. There's just certain things I look for in the tune. So I've looked over a few of Alex's tunes, and obviously they're flawless. He is very talented, knows what he's doing, and obviously he wins consistently. So topics that are going to be covered in his webinar are, pulling it up now. Okay, the webinar is Wednesday, January 12th, 8 p.m. That's Eastern Standard Time. So the webinar covers the fundamentals of audio and tuning. We discuss things like difference of mono versus stereo, different crossover types, and when to use each one. That is cue and impact of EQing. We do practical exercise as a group so folks understand what we are discussing. It is an interactive webinar. I ask questions, then we pull up DSP software and go through implementing all of the things we have learned. Also, we have 2 SOS Middleweight champions attending and sharing the lessons they have learned, providing folks with tips and tricks. It's a neat webinar from start to finish, setting up a bike to final tuning. So I'm going to be joining along, so I'll be right there with you guys. We need more people like Alex sharing his information. This industry is just too big, and it feels like there's only a handful of people that are willing to help. I understand everybody's time is precious, but we're trying to start a movement here to get more people involved that have the proper information to provide. I'm just tired of seeing people hand out the wrong information or just partial information on the forums. Opinion's one thing. If I state something, it's a fact, and I can back it up with scientific data. We can do measurements. So I keep my opinions to myself. Anything I make a video on is just scientific fact. It really doesn't matter to me which speaker you pick, as long as you're making an educated decision. So this speaker does this speaker does that, this speaker works here. The brand doesn't really matter to me. Use whatever tool you need to complete your job in the most precise way and the most efficient way possible is all that matters to me. So I'm trying to align myself with like-minded individuals with different styles, because my style might not be for everybody, and I'm completely fine with that. But it's all about getting the information out there. It really doesn't matter what brand you use. It's about, like, the DSP thing, you have to embrace it whether you want to or not, because if you pay attention, all these newer motorcycles, you can't change the radio on. And then the ones that you can change the radio on, you shouldn't change the radio on. So we have a brand new Indian in the shop. You cannot change that radio. We have a brand new Slingshot in the shop. I definitely wouldn't recommend changing that radio. We have the new 2022 Goldwing in the shop. Can't change that radio. So what are you guys going to do? Cut the client's dashboard and mold in a 10-year-old single-in radio? Like, you have to learn to integrate into these bikes if you want to start working on these newer bikes. Or even if you don't want to touch the radio, you can use a DSP that allows you to stream Bluetooth directly into the DSP and go directly off your phone and build a competition level system, but you still need some way to send the signal to the amplifiers. So his webinar is tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. I'm going to be taking entries. It's going to be the same email that we use for the Boss Audio giveaway. So it's going to be NVS Audio contest@gmail.com. So it's nvsaudio.contest@gmail.com. I'll put it at the bottom of the screen here so you see it. So you just send an email to nvsaudio.contest@gmail.com, and I'll email you back with a number. That's going to be your entry number, and then tomorrow in the afternoon we'll announce the winners, and then we'll send you a link to the webinar. So thank you, Alex Haze, for doing this. Thank you, Chris, Mr. Wonderful, for bringing this to my attention. This was all Chris's idea, and let's all get together to make our bikes sound better. Thank you. Have a good night.